Adam Khoo's Investment Insights. I'm Adam Khoo, and I'm here once again to share with you some profit-generating ideas and opportunities in today's markets. So before I tell you about a great opportunity I see right now to make a lot of money, a bit of background. About 7 years ago was the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008 to 2009. At that point of time, the US market collapsed about 55%. The Dow Jones fell from 14,000 points to about 6,500 points. Asian markets fell a bigger 62%. Now, at this point of time, people panicked and they said that the US government is going to go bankrupt, the markets will never recover, I'll never get my money back. And it's at a point of maximum panic where you see maximum opportunity. Now, I knew at this point of time, back in January 2009, that the market was near a bottom. Now, how did I know that? I studied the market's valuation ratios. I looked at technical indicators like what we call divergence patterns, and I knew it was somewhere near the bottom, that if you were to buy at that point, you're going to make a lot of money in the next couple of years. So I decided to write a book with my two buddies, Conrad, professional trader, and Ryan, a journalist, called Profit from the Panic, sharing with people that this was the best opportunity to make your fortune, to buy stocks when you were dirt cheap. And this was the book launch. This was back again in January 24th, over here, 2009. And once the book was launched, did the market go up immediately? Of course not, I can't time it perfectly. But when the book was launched in January of 2009, within 2 months, the market bottomed as I anticipated. I'm not a genius, I just follow certain strategies, right? And sure enough, the market then skyrocketed and recovered 92% in the next 25 months. From 6,500 points to 12,500 points. Of course, as of now, as I'm speaking, the market is now at 17,000 points. But at a point of time, it was already a 92% gain. And sure enough, because of that, the book, Profit from the Panic, was ranked #1 nationally in Singapore and all around the region. And Borders, one of the biggest bookshops in the region, ranked it as its #1 out of its top 10 for many consecutive weeks. And many people who read the book made a lot of money. In fact, I've got a lot of great emails people sent to me and they said, thank you. There was this guy, Hawk Singh, who read the book and he said, hi Adam, I benefited a lot from your earlier book authored with Conrad, with practical investing principles I gleaned from the book and other external read-ups. I invested about 400,000 in both Singapore and US markets. And based on today's share prices, my paper and realized profits are around $300,000. And he made $300,000 in 11 months, a 75% return, which tells you that a tremendous amount of money can be made when you know how to enter the markets. And I got featured, that's how I got famous in Singapore, I got featured in the Straits Times for having made a lot of money in the crisis. In fact, when most people lost their jobs, they lost their businesses, they lost a lot of money, I made close to $4 million in 9 months because I knew exactly when to enter the markets. And that's what I teach in my courses and my books. Now, why am I giving you this background? Because I see it happening again. I call it Profit from the Panic Reloaded. Except this time, the great opportunity to make money from the panic is not from the stock market just yet. It's from the oil market. Crude oil prices, if you've been following the news, have fallen 74% so far. From a high of $110 per barrel to currently about $30 per barrel. In fact, it went all the way down to $27 a barrel last week. Again, now it's 2016, January 27th. So that's a 74% decline, in fact, more than 70% as I showed on the charts. So what caused oil to collapse from $110 to $30? I mean, we all need oil, right? Well, it's all about demand and supply. Recently, there's been weak demand from slowing economic growth, especially from China. China's growth has been slowing down, so demand has been slowing down. But more importantly, oversupply. There's too much supply of oil that the demand can't absorb. Okay, and this oversupply comes from the rise of US shale oil producers. See, in the past, you got oil by drilling from the ground, drilling in the deep sea. But some genius found out they can actually get oil by cracking this shale rock and through a certain chemical process create oil. So that created a lot more oil in the US. Okay, and OPEC, which is made up of all these Arab states, they control how much output of oil, and they refuse to cut production. They are still, ramping production, producing a lot of oil. And recently, Iran, sanctions were lifted from Iran. So now they're coming in and say, hey, we're going to supply a lot of oil as well. So with all this oil coming in, supply exceeds demand, oil collapse. All right, now the question you got to ask is this: how long can oil stay at these depressed levels? Will oil be at $29, $30 forever? Of course not. Oil is a scarce commodity. We all need oil. Eventually, we're going to run out of oil. Okay, so you can bet that oil is definitely going to go back to $100 again. But the question is when? And that's what I'm here to share with you. All right, so oil prices will definitely rebound. And will there be potential profits to be made if you buy soon at, say, $30, goes back to $100? Sure, you can get a 300% return. But the important thing is knowing, how do I buy oil and when do I buy the oil?